Happy Thursday, boys and girls. My name is Jeffrey Scott Mitchell, and about last night, August 17th, Los Angeles, California, YouTube Theater, One Nation Tour, George Clinton and Funkadelic headlining. First of all, I'm old and I'm ailing and I'm injured. And that might be bragging. And it's probably not a complaint at all. First of all, you get to the YouTube Theater, $40 to park. That's the first thing that hits you. First, you got to find the damn place because it's within the Hollywood Park or Hollywood, whatever complex that it is going down there next to SoFi. And once you find it, because Google girl sent me the wrong way. So once I finally got in, $40 to park, whatever. I'm there like super early. Like one of the first people to get there. Well, not one of the first people to get there. Well, actually probably one of the first people to get there still too. And I thought I was gonna be late. So I get there, I pay $40, I walk up, talking to people. Gorgeous, magnificent place. Gorgeous, magnificent architecture, technology, aesthetics, nature. It's so beautiful and so aesthetically pleasing and just such a wonderful space architecturally and just ergonomically or whatever, that it made me say, oh, that's what my $40 is for. To be next to the stadium, and I had been inside of that stadium before, and so I know how gorgeous inside that stadium is, and just the whole complex and all the money they spent is really nice. Okay, so I paid $40, I get in, and I'm taking in, there was new technology at the freaking security, where you just walk through. You take all the stuff out, I guess, and you walk through or something, and you can actually walk through and just don't have to go through security. You don't have to get patted down or anything. It's like these things that you walk through. Everybody can just as a crowd, and they would just grab people. You failed. Then you'd have to go do the closer screening. And they said I was one of the first 100 people to go through that. It was brand new. The whole place is brand new and gorgeous. I mean, just top notch, big spaces. Blah, 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 blah. So I get in the venue, I go in, and when I go in, one of the bands is already playing. Might have been Dopapod, I think. Probably was Dopapod. And first thing you notice, it is dark. The place is huge, number one. The way it's laid out, it's kind of big. And to get around, there's lots of ways to get there. A lot of pathways, there's elevators. There's 2 outside levels. There's one level, you go outside, there's a patio in the area. Then you go up, you go outside, there's another level patio area where the lunch trucks was. It's a complex. So you get in there and it's dark. It's just extremely dark. I could barely walk. Even though the band was playing, I had to look and see how it was. I couldn't see nobody. It was just dark in there. But the sound was good, of course. Sound filled the room very nicely. Big stage. I was front row center. When I say front row center, I mean front row center. I was in seat number 5 of the center section of 10. So I was front row center. And then I'm sitting there, right? And I'm front row center, and there was the seat next to me open. And the dude came up to get to his seat, and he, pointed, that's his seat. And I looked up, I was I know him. We had met at another concert. It's the craziest shit. I mean, because we the seat was empty, because you count 10 seats. I got a single. So more than likely, there's gonna be another single, at least another single up there, for couples, because you sell them in 2s. So I was I wonder who got that other seat. We got seat 6. So he came up and he pointed at the thing. And And I looked up and I was like, ah, that's Garth. I knew him. I had met him at the P-Funk show at the Greek. I had met him at the last P-Funk show at the Greek. The farewell tour. When this farewell tour started, it was at the Greek. And I met him there. And then it made it more trippy. You know, we was talking and stuff, whatever. It made it more trippy. I went and saw Morchiva downtown LA someplace at the Regent, I think, or someplace like that. And he was there. And I was like, cool. And then for him to, you know, I'm sitting there, you know, front row in the place. And okay. So first I'm already doing my thing. I'm already turning it on, letting folks know I'm in the place. You know, it was quiet, calm, whatever. I knew if I was talking loud enough, the whole venue could hear me. And it was just dark, and people were sitting down. The music was really low and kind of sedative. It was, the energy and the vibe was just weird. They'll fix that. And then in between acts even, it was just too dark. You couldn't see anybody. So the crowd couldn't vibe each other. They couldn't like see somebody else doing something and get a vibe off them, or it was almost like it was so dark you were like forced to be within your own little self, or, you know, like the energy seemed like it couldn't be distributed through the room. And more so, I guess for me, I couldn't see people. I couldn't see people to vibe them from 200-300, you know, from way across the room or something. I couldn't see them, even though I think they pretty much could see me. I couldn't see them. So he came up, right? I was like, oh, what's up, man? And we hugged. We're like, we still, all right, now, stuff was going on, the show's going on. The crowd ain't into it. They just sitting there. So anything I do, I know sitting front row, pretty much everybody in the place is gonna see it if they looking. So he came up, like, oh, what's up? And I stood up and we, you know, dapped and hugged. I was like, oh, what's up, man? It's like right in the middle of the show, right front row center, sitting right in front of the place. Ah, what's up? Hey, and we have our own little moment. And then my boys, Ponytail came from one side, and the other dude came from the other side. They both came around because they was on seats on the rows at the end. And they both came around after he was there. Pony came up there and said, hey, all right, y'all keep it down. So all of a sudden, all four of us is in the front of the stage, hugging and dapping, you know, like it was a reunion or something. It was just good. It was just good. It was just our house. It was my house. That was our house. Definitely LA Maggot's house. It was good. It was good. That was one of the things. But other than that, it was just dark. Energy was low. I spent a lot of time outside. In fact, a lot of LA Maggots didn't come in until George started. I personally can't do that. I'm just too nosy. Fear of missing out, that's me. I paid for my ticket. Well, I had a front row seat, so of course I want to be sitting there all the whole damn time. Of course I forget where I was. But so, you know, we in the venue, four of us up in front of the stage, LA Maggots all in the place. Coming in there, it may have been messing with my vibe to where I couldn't see everybody, and it was just dark, the energy was low. And like I was saying at the other venues, maybe it's a trend on this tour, the venues they're picking, and maybe the management or promoters picking these kind of venues to where a certain kind of crowd comes to them, where they're just quiet, the venue's just quiet, they're just sitting there. And I could just talk and have the whole place hear me. And the music is low, and this is like the third show in a row was like that. And third or fourth show in a row where Blue Eye Extinction and then would just come on and say, get up! Y'all need to get up! And Mr. Clinton came out during Blue Eye Extinction. Mr. Clinton came out during Blue Eye Extinction, and when he came out, everybody stood up. People started standing up and partying. Before that, they were just sitting there. I mean, literally just sitting there. I was front row center, so I could look back over the whole auditorium pretty much. And they were just sitting there. As soon as Mr. Clinton came out, they got up and they started getting going. Then when Blue Eye came out, they were like, come on, get up, y'all need to get up, because they were just sitting there. It was just quiet. That's like the third or fourth show in a row that I noticed it was like that. I guess with the seats and the seating. The YouTube Theater is a very, very, very nice place. And I would even say it's too nice for P-Funk. It was just too nice. So about the show was mediocre. Show was mediocre at best. Show was mediocre. Knee Deep just fell apart. I don't know if they were trying to cut it short or what, but it just fell apart. And Mr. Hampton got to play a solo. There was no Maggot Brain, there was no Cosmic Slop, there was no P-Funk, I don't think. There was no Mothership Connection, I don't think. I can't remember, it was just, I mean, but this ain't the first time they came here and put on a wiki wacky show in Los Angeles. Before, years ago, I used to think it was because of the drugs, but it could just because of the, you know, the way they're treated here and all the stars. And I think I'm standing there, Herbie Hancock comes standing next to me pointing to George. I was like, who's this dude come up here? You know, I'm guarding my space. And I looked and I could tell by the way security didn't say nothing to him and how he was doing stuff that he was gonna be okay. And then I looked, I said, oh, that's Herbie Hancock. You know, so it was just mediocre. And, yeah, I was saying the stars and stuff. So I mean, and I was saying it's their farewell retirement shows, so they should be able to, you know, dial it in, call it in, and just do whatever. You know, just have fun and relax, and you know, not be killing it, because they killed it the last shows. They killed it the last shows. This show, this one, LA people got, and it was a couple other songs that just got off track, and then they had to get it back on track. And it was Mono Neon played bass, him and Skeet played bass. On the opening, they opened up with Red Hot Mama, a version of it. I can't really call it Red Hot Mama, but it was something like it. And George did Chance, and they did stuff coming in. So that was nice to have that changed. Then they went into Pole Power. And it was okay. It just was, you know, I think it was the venue. The energy in the room was just completely duh. It was so dark. It was so dark even between the acts. I was like, turn some lights on. I was like, where y'all at? And it was so dark and weird in there that, you know, I cut up and I got mine and everything, but it had to have an effect on the energy of the room. It was just so dark in there. And so I was outside a lot. I couldn't stay in there. I felt like I was trapped. It felt like you're trapped inside your own little self because it's so dark. I couldn't get information from outside. It was so dark. It was like I was isolated. So I went outside, everybody was outside. Everybody, all the maggots was outside, sitting in these nice ass lounge chairs. They had a little padded couch area. It was just having there. And they were eating, you know, had a nice little spot, super comfortable place, gorgeous place. Just architecturally gorgeous. Just, like I said, it was worth the $40. And for them not to play Cosmic Slop and or Maggot Brain, and they haven't been playing Maggot Brain. And most of and Kevin Oliver seemed to have done most of the guitar solos. As an uninformed person who has no inside information whatsoever and having not talked to anybody, I would say Mr. Hampton is on punishment. I would say Mr. Hampton is on punishment. And from my standpoint, that's what guitar players are supposed to do. They're supposed to be that. You know, come this, come that. I think you need a brat in the band. You need somebody who's gonna do whatever. And I'm not saying Mr. Hampton is doing that. I'm not saying he is, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying what I saw from a subjective standpoint from my side of the stage as an outsider. I mean, it's kind of blatant now. It's kind of obvious. You can't overlook it now. You just can't overlook it. But other than that, you know, it was a good time. I had a very good time. As far as my evolution and my thing, And my journey, whatever, I was telling people yesterday it's like my whole life I've been training to be in this position. And I was trying to relate to them what I meant. And I realized it's probably more complicated than that inside my head, just to be able to, for somebody to say it, for somebody to get it. Probably needs to be explained in more depth. But last night was like the training that I've had to be that person in that venue last night, you know? To be that person in that venue with the command, quote unquote, command and freedom and expressiveness, and to just be me in that situation. It took decades to get there, to evolve to. Just to have the command, maybe even on stage. My presence, how my presence is felt on stage and off stage, being where I'm at, front row, knowing the venues, knowing how to manipulate and do this, knowing how to connect and vibe. I was completely comfortable too. And I was just talking, just everybody was coming up. It seemed like I knew everybody. Everybody knew me, so I'm there front row. The whole place just see me, just do my thing. I was completely aware of where I was at because it was so dark in there that the only thing you could probably really see was the stage and the front of the stage. It was just dark. Then once you get in there and you get in your seat, it's so dark you don't want to move. You know, you get into like a cocoon type thing, you know? And it becomes like a hibernation or something. It's just so, yeah. And I was going on. I was like, why is it so dark in here? But anyway, it was good. You know, I had fun. Everybody was there. People just kept coming, and a bunch of us made it to the front. I was like, all right. I know you ain't supposed to be here. I know you ain't supposed to be here. I know you ain't. But we hung out. They got to hang out at the front of the stage for a bunch. The people who, you know, the maggot crew who may or may not have had seats up front. So it was good. It was good. It was a good evening. It was a good evening. And the event or the evening or the experience isn't always 100% related to the band's performance. You know, I realized that yesterday. Because I got mine. And I told them, I had posted before, I got mine. I've had 5 or 6 just good shows recently. I mean, slamming, just bam, bam, boom, boom. So I got mine, so I knew if this happened in LA or anywhere, I was like, huh. You know, I got to see everybody. I mean, everybody. It was just good seeing so many people. And then over the years, another part of this, the Jeffery part of this, is how many people I know. And I guess other people know and can see what I do or the things or what I am or what I do maybe better than I can, because I go to explain it to people. It was like, oh, really, you think? It's like, I'm just realizing some things that maybe other people can see clearly, since I'm living it. It was, to put it very crudely and generally, no, I can't say that. I was gonna say it was like, it's more of a manipulation. It's more manipulation. I don't want to say a command, because I definitely don't have a command of the audience. I definitely don't. I have their attention. I can get the attention of people, and I can I know how to send energy signals and emotion and data through body language. I know how to relay, I know how to communicate without non-verbally to a large crowd. There you go. I know how to communicate verbally, non-verbally to a large crowd or situation. And I'm probably good at it. Oh God, it was just so good. It was just so good. And then to see, okay, so I'm front row center, right? I'm the man, there's no doubt about that. I knew I was gonna be the man when I spent all that money for that ticket months ago. I said, oh shit, this is gonna be good. LA and I'm gonna be front row center, wow. So I knew I was, but to have everybody come in and for me to realize how many people I know, it's not overwhelming, but it shocks me how many people I know and how people know me. They come up to me, oh, I remember you from years ago. Oh, yeah. And they tell me stories about me, that I kind of forgot. I go, oh, I'm like, oh, you were there? Yeah, I seen you here. It's just it's our thing, and it's all under the Parliament Funkadelic umbrella, because that's where our devotion is to. That's where our common interest is. And as I was saying in another video, I may have needed something like a P-Funk in my life that inspired me spiritually, mentally, physically, psychologically, something to have a faith in, to drive me or to pull me or to inspire me to develop or become this thing I am at a concert, whatever it is, because it's definitely a thing now. I can't deny it. After this last weekend, I can't deny it. It's definitely, I be doing shit. And it's more than just that. It's more than just that. And I just know how to do it. Got there, talked to security, being friendly with security, friendly with the venue, just being free and open and just, expressive. Being able to express and relax, absorb and enjoy, and not be embarrassed or nervous or thrown off focus from distractions of like being on. Oh, and I was on the big screen all night last night. I was on the big. All of us was actually in the front. Actually, there was a cameraman in the front who, I guess part of his job was to take audience shots. So I was on the big screen a lot. Janet was on there. I got her on the big screen. Jennifer was on there. Jennifer or Jenny or Johnson, whatever her name is now, was down there doing her thing. And she was on the camera and I saw her and she was on the big screen. When you're on the big screen, you don't want to just like look at it. You want to play it off a little bit. So what I would do is I would see myself and I would position myself so they could see me face on to the camera, but I wouldn't be looking dead at the camera. I'd actually be looking somewhere else and have my phone recording video pointing at the big screen to get me on it. So that was fun. It was good. I mean, it was. What it was. What it was. And it was a good night. It was a good night. It was a good way. It's probably a good way to end this. Not so much with an explosion or with a big bang, but maybe with like a whimper. They say that's how the universe may end, in a big bang or a whimper, depending on gravity and the rate of expansion. So basically, the quality of the music coming off the stage, I think there's a balance between how much fun the band is having, the crowd is having, and the quality of the music and the intensity. It can go in different directions, because we definitely had fun, but we all understood we've seen better shows. But it was more of the event in the evening, you know, being in that beautiful place. All the opening acts, like I said, all those opening acts in that dark place. I had to go, I was sitting front row, and you felt like enclosed. It was so dark, you felt like you were enclosed in like maybe like a little one-on-one theater with the stage. Like you were completely isolated for the rest of the venue because it was so dark. And the way that I guess the acoustics was or something, you couldn't feel nothing around you. You couldn't sense or feel anything around, well, me. I couldn't sense or feel anything around me. And as far as the whole expressing and absorbing energy and being open, wide open, being dark is like, here's what we're gonna do to Jeffery. Here's how we can shut Jeffery down. It's like if I had some kind of propaganda message that they wanted to keep, you know, not be spread. That's one way you cut off my powers, cut off my superpowers. So I was, you know, going back and forth outside. Got my steps in. Not even sure how I did that. Did 11,000 steps yesterday without even trying. I didn't walk at all yesterday because my foot was hurting, I was tired. I worked 4 hours. I couldn't even walk when I woke up. Well, I probably could have walked it off, but I didn't feel like it. I think I'd have stayed in the bed. I forget what I did, to be honest with you. But I got to the show, you know, it was good. I felt good. My foot was good. I got plantar fasciitis or something. I got these insoles in my shoes and got to do stuff and exercises. Supposed to get some medicine for inflammation, et cetera, et cetera. But it was good. I mean, anything interesting happened on the stage last night's show? Not really. Nothing I can think of. But it was a good celebration. And I was thinking about going to the show at Napa. I don't know now. I think I'm good. Somebody called this part of the tour, the winery tour. Winery, W-I-N-E-R-Y, like wine, grapes and stuff. And the places they having it at, I can see probably gonna be foo-foo. And then next week, the 420 Funk Mob is playing here. And that would be a more conducive venue to what I'm used to in size and intimacy and sound probably. Even the sound, these last shows, it's almost like the sound is too good. The sound is too clean, too clear. There's too much space. It's like almost funk needs to be compressed or crowded. There's like too much space in the music. Maybe it needs some reverb. I just learned about reverb the other day. I put reverb on some of my music. I was like, oh my God, this is what I've been missing all these years. So I don't know, and they're also playing up north on like a Tuesday or something, or a Friday. So we'll see how that goes. I doubt if I make that show. It's on a Friday. I got stuff coming up. I got major stuff coming up. So I gotta watch my PTO and the such. Yeah. I mean, mean, yeah, you know. It's good. It's good. It really is good. Now, I got to get through 2 days of work. Then I get 2 days off. And I hope by God, during those 2 days, I don't put on 13 pounds. Notice I said the number 13? That don't sound too random or arbitrary, do it? Like if I'd have said 13.8 pounds. Kind of gives you an indication that there's a science to this, don't it? Kind of makes you think I've been through this before. Yeah, there was something else I was gonna say, but I forgot, I think. It was just good. I mean, we had a good time. We had a good time. Mr. Clinton was good. People leaving, even these ladies leaving said that the show, they were urban. They were urban, classic urban, and a little drunk and having a good time. Real friendly, festive, just, talking shit. Talk plenty shit too. Met people. Anyway, so we only got 2 times. For me, for the phone. And for every elementary particle that existed in any atom in this or in any universe that ever was, is, or will be. I'm talking about the totality of it all, y'all. An hypothesis of all is one. A theory of universe.